Hey friends, I'm Otis Gibbs, and this is my buddy Warner Hodges. He's going to share some stories about seeing the great Danny Gatton.
First time I saw him, my old guitar tech, Dave Sutherland, had raved about this guy, Danny Gatton, and he had introduced me to, he was the guy that kind of started introducing me to the country super pickers that I didn't know. I knew Albert Lee, I knew James Burton from my parents' stuff, loved that stuff. But Dave turned me on to Roy Buchanan and Danny Gatton and some folks I didn't know about. And Gatton, we played D.C. We were actually in D.C. We opened for Bob Dylan somewhere. And Gatton was playing the Grog and Tankard, Grog and Kettle, whatever. It was like a house gig he did every Monday and Tuesday. And Dave was like, man, we got to go. You got to see this guy. I was like, all right, let's go see him. 3 hours, never heard anything twice. Amp on stage, any guitar player that wants to get up, come on. Room was full of nothing but guitar players, but nobody come on. He was absolutely the most astounding guitar player I've ever seen in a live situation with a chord, a couple of pedals, and a deluxe. No smoke, no mirrors, talent, nothing but talent, I looked up a few years later, I get taken to see NRBQ by this guy, a buddy of mine named Jim DeBessman, who has passed away during COVID. But Jim takes me, I was living in New York at the time, he takes me to this NRBQ show. I'd never seen our NRBQ. I'd heard about them. Pete Buck had always raved about them being his favorite band. And they had this little guy named Danny Gatton opening for them, And I literally watched 45 minutes of Gatton and then Big Al Anderson and NRBQ, the real NRBQ. Not that the new one isn't great, but I got to see, the real guy, Terry and Joey and, Tommy and Big Al. They were astounding. And you literally left with your head down going, man, I got to get a job. if that's guitar playing, I'm out. I'm done. I don't have anything for this, And I got to see Gatton one other, at the Ace of Clubs here. I got a poster at home, something, hey, Warner, I hear you play guitar, man, good luck, Danny Gatton, Say, yeah, right, But he was astounding, and everybody in his band was too, everybody in his band was his level. The bass player, I don't know his name, oh my God, But they were all, everybody in the band was that magnitude of player, just off the charts, great players. Years ago, I went to see Jimmy Hall and the Prisoners of Love, Kenny Greenberg. They played a little place used to be out on Nolensville Road called Boardwalk Cafe. And it was rumored that Beck was going to sit in. Jimmy had sang on a bunch of Beck stuff. They were buddies. And so, of course, I went. Me and Dave Sutherland went. There's like 3 girls and 350 guitar players. Yeah. And little club, And Jeff Beck does play with them. And I'm this close to Jeff Beck. We're front table as close as you can get. It was magnificent, seeing something like that. And it's Nashville, Tennessee, though, man. You lived here. It's unbelievable the stuff you can see in this town on any night, The talent level here, off the charts. Dan Baird always joked about he's the 462nd best guitar player in town. And I would always laugh and go, wow, that makes me 463. And I'm sure there's no truth in that. I'm one of the guitar owners in town, There's some great players here. No, the problem with Danny, honestly, was he was known as the world's greatest unknown guitar player. And I don't know why. He was off the chain great at everything. When I saw his solo gigs, it would be everything from country to music to as far to the right as you could go. I never got to see his jazz thing. When it's 5 guys playing jazz where I can't find the one, I'm out. I don't mind jazz where it's like, okay, I can keep time with this stuff. But when it's like 5 dudes soloing and I just don't know where one is, I know they're incredible, but it's not my cup of tea. But Fun Band, whatever the hell they called it, Danny Gatton and Fun House or something. They were all monsters. And it's really a pity that it seems like the only people that knew about him was guitar players, He was so great at what he did. There's a really famous YouTube thing of him playing. He played with Roger Miller in Roger Miller's band for a while. But there's a YouTube thing of Vince Gill and Albert Lee where Danny's the rhythm guitar player in the band. And towards the end of the show, they let him have one. And he takes the roof off the joint, you know. And you can see Albert and Vince just kind of chuckle. It's like, yeah, you know, they knew, you know. But he just never seemed to get the credit he deserved, you know. And I don't know. And then, you know, the story, you know, he's passed away now. So he was the absolute deepest pockets guitarist I have ever seen, bar none. In any genre that I could listen to, he was the best at all of them, which is saying a lot. You know, I've seen some really great guitar players, and I love the country rock thing. You know, the Brad Paisley with a telly doing what he does is like, hell yeah, you know. Hell, Keith Urban. Keith's a monster guitar player, you know. Love Albert Lee, you know, love all that kind of stuff. Danny was, oh God, off the planet, you know. If those guys are, you know, the moon, Danny was the universe. You know, it was just like, whoa, you know, pretty incredible. I think any guitar player that you've interviewed on this would agree with that if they saw him. You know? And I saw him the first time in a shithole club. You know, it was just shithole, 150, 200 seat club. No smoke, no mirrors, just talent on loan. You know, just like, good Lord, how long did you woodshed to get that great, you know? And it was like falling off a log.